Welcome to Premier League Gameweek 14 recap. Let's get into it. Leeds played Bournemouth and won 4-3. Rodrigo scored from penalty 3 minutes into the match to put Leeds in front early on, but the lead was short-lived as Marcus Tavernier volleyed the ball into the back of the net in the 7th minute of the game. Tavernier then went on to assist Bournemouth's next 2 goals, with Philip Billings scoring the second one in the 19th minute and Dominic Solanke scoring the third 3 minutes into the second half. This gave Bournemouth a 2-goal lead, and it seemed like Leeds were heading towards their 7th loss of the season, but in the 60th minute they began their comeback when substitute Sam Greenwood scored a great goal from 20 yards out, and 8 minutes later he assisted Leeds captain Liam Cooper, who headed in the ball from a corner to level the game. Then towards the end of the match, Crescencio Somerville scored a late winner once again for Leeds to help them go 3 points above the relegation zone, with the 21-year-old now scoring in 3 consecutive Premier League appearances. Bournemouth were unable to hold on to a 2-goal lead against Spurs last time out, and the same thing happened here, which they'll be annoyed about, as they're now sitting 1 point above the relegation zone and they could easily drop into it if their poor form continues, with them failing to win any of their last 4 matches. Man City faced Fulham and won 2-1. Julian Alvarez had his 3rd Premier League match of the season this game, and just 60 minutes into the match he opened a scoring with a powerful finish by Bernardo. The match took a turn for the worse for City not long after this goal though, as just before the half-an-hour mark, Cancelo showed a straight red card for a bad last man challenge on Harry Wilson inside the box, which Fulham awarded a penalty for, and Andreas Pereira managed to convert his penalties and level the game. However, after this penalty, Fulham were unable to capitalise on extra man advantage, with them barely posing a threat this entire game, and right at the very end of the match, Man City awarded a penalty for De Bruyne being choked up inside the box, and Haaland, who had come off the bench and scored a disallowed goal a few minutes prior, stepped up to the spot and scored to win the match for City 5 minutes into stoppage time. Nottingham Forest came up against Brentford and drew 2-2. Forest took the lead first in the 20th minute through a great goal by Gibbs White, who dribbled past the Brentford defence and then shot from outside the box. Forest ended up losing its lead at the stroke of half time, however, as Brentford awarded a controversial penalty which Mbemo managed to score. Half an hour into the second half, Wissa scored what appeared to be the winner in this match when he chipped the ball over Dean Henderson, putting Brentford on the brink of winning their first match away from home this season. However, unfortunately for Brentford, they were unable to get their first away win, as in the final 3 moments of the game, Brentford defender Jorgensen scored an own goal to prevent his side from taking all 3 points. Brentford were missing their top goal scorer Tony this game due to him getting 1 match suspension for getting too many yellow cards, and if he was present, they could potentially won this match, although Brentford's forward still did a good job, with both Mbemo and Wissa getting on a score sheet. Forest will feel very relieved they managed to come out of this match with a point, considering it seemed like they're about to come away with 0. However, it hasn't had an immediate effect on their position in the league, with them still sitting rock bottom. Wolves faced Brighton and lost 3-2. Adam Lallana put Brighton in front in the 10th minute of the game, but they were unable to hold on to this lead as just 2 minutes after Gonzalo Guedes equalised the game and he slotted the ball past Robert Sanchez. Wolves then took the lead themselves in the 35th minute of the game for a well-taken penalty by Ruben Neves, which temporarily took them out of the relegation zone. However, they were unable to take the lead into half-time as Matoma headed the ball into the back of the net in the 44th minute. Things then went from bad to worse for Wolves as a few minutes later Nelson Semedo was shown a red card for a rash last-man challenge on Matoma, putting Wolves down to 10 men just before half-time. It took a while for Brighton to score against 10-man Wolves in the second half, but they eventually got their goal and Pascal Gross scored in the 83rd minute of the match, sending Brighton up to 6th place in the table. Everton were up against Leicester and lost 2-0. This result has helped Leicester climb out the relegation zone, with their first goal coming through a fantastic long-range strike by Yuri Tielemans to put them 1-0 up just before the whistle blew for half-time, although they could have taken the lead earlier on with them missing a few chances in the first half. Leicester managed to keep Everton fairly quiet in the second half, and the chances of keeping a clean sheet were increased when Everton striker Calvert-Lewin was forced off the pitch due to injury just after the hour mark, with him only returning from his previous injury that saw him miss the start of the season 6 games ago. Harvey Barnes then headed secured victory for Leicester when he struck the ball with power in the 86th minute, putting Leicester ahead of Everton in the table on goal difference. James Maddison put in a man-of-match performance this game, with the English midfielder assisting both of Leicester's goals, and with the great form he's been in this season, he could very well be called up to the English national team for the World Cup in a few weeks' time. After this winning clean sheet, I think it's safe to say Leicester has recovered from their very poor form at the start of the season, with them conceding 22 goals in their first 8 games of the season, but only 3 goals in the last 6 matches. Chelsea played Arsenal and lost 1-0. Arsenal dominated Chelsea in this match and could have scored more than 1 goal if they were more clinical with their chances, with a standout chance in the first half being Gabriel Jesus' diving header which failed to tie in Martinelli's great cross. Arsenal eventually got the 1 goal through Gabriel in the 63rd minute of the game, who steered in the ball from Saka's corner, giving the Gunners a much deserved lead over their London rivals who have been second best for the majority of this match. This loss to Arsenal and Chelsea's 2nd loss in a row, with them losing to Brighton last time out, which ended their 6-game unbeaten run in the league. Aubameyang made his first appearance against Arsenal after leaving them in January, but was unable to do much against his former side, with him only touching the ball 8 times before he was subbed off in the 64th minute. Aston Villa came up against Man United and beat them 3-1. Villa scored 2 goals inside the opening 11 minutes, with Bailey scoring the first 7 minutes in, followed up by Digne Cullen in a free kick from 25 yards out 4 minutes later. Aston Villa did a good job at holding on to the 2-goal lead, but they lost their clean sheet at a stroke of half time, and Luke Shaw's shot deflected off Jacob Ramsey and into the back of the net, which went down as an own goal. Ramsey ended up redeeming himself, however, as a few minutes in the second half he scored to regain Villa's 2-goal advantage, cancelling out the own goal he scored earlier. This was a dream first game as manager for Unai Emery, with this result taking Aston Villa 3 points above the relegation zone and beating a Man United side who are in good form as of late, with United being 9 games unbeaten across all competitions going into this match and only conceding 4 goals during that time period. Southampton faced Newcastle and lost 4-1, resulting in the sacking of their manager Ralph Hasenhüttl. Almiron, who's the top goal scorer midfielder in the league this season, added onto his goal tally in the 35th minute, with him now scoring 7 goals in his past 7 matches, which is as many as he scored in his previous 76 matches. This left the scoreline at 1-0 going into half time, and not long into the second half, Newcastle scored 2 quick-fire goals to go 3-0 up, with one coming from Chris Wood in the 58th minute and the other from Joe Willock in the 62nd minute. These 3 goals had pretty much secured the win for Newcastle, although Southampton did manage to get a late goal through Perrault. However, this was cancelled out 2 minutes later when Bruno Guimaraes cold a shot into the back of the net to restore their 3-goal lead. This match has extended Newcastle's unbeaten run to 9 matches, and they're guaranteed to be in the top 4 by the time the World Cup break starts, showing the insane amount of progress they've made since being taken over a little over a year ago. West Ham were up against Crystal Palace and lost 2-1. Ben Rama made his 100th appearance for West Ham this match and marked the milestone with a powerful strike from outside the box which flew past Guaita in goal, giving West Ham the lead in the 20th minute. Zaha managed to equalise the game soon before half time however, leaving the scoreline at 1-1 going into the break. Both sides had a few goal scoring opportunities in the second half, with Crystal Palace having the most, and eventually got their goal with what was practically the last kick of the game and Lito shot made his way into the back of the net, and I have to say he seemed absolutely thrilled in his post-match interview.
It was a moment that captured the game, that won the game, and what's the feeling like when the ball does hit the back of the net?
It was a good feeling.
Finally, Spurs played Liverpool and lost 2-1. Liverpool in pretty poor form going into this match, with them losing their past 2 league matches against Nottingham Forest and Leeds United, but it didn't let this form affect them, with Mohamed Salah opening the score in 11 minutes in and then doubling Liverpool's lead in the 40th minute, making the scoreline 2-0 going into half time. Spurs came close to scoring a few times this match, with Aaron Perisic hitting the woodwork twice, but didn't get their first goal of the match until the 70th minute when Harry Kane managed to pull one back for Spurs. Tottenham were unable to get an equaliser in the remaining minutes of the game, and the 3 points went Liverpool's way, with them now sitting 8th in the table and 7 points behind Tottenham with a game in hand. Anyway, that's Premier League Gameweek 14 recapped. If you made it this far and enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and whilst chat, comment down below your opinions on any of the matches that happened in this game week. With that being said, have a good one guys. See ya.